Good morning.
I'll call the meeting of the Carbon County Board of Commissioners to order. Please rise for a moment of silence, prayer, and pledge of allegiance. O Lord, giver of life and source of our freedom, we thank you for the many blessings you have given our community. We are grateful for the people in our lives who are always there when needed. We are grateful for our local farmers and the wonderful produce they provide. We are grateful for our many businesses, our restaurants, and organizations who are working hard to stay afloat. We give thanks to our emergency medical personnel in hospitals, frontline workers, and first responders, and ask to keep them safe these difficult times. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
These proceedings are being recorded for the sole purpose of constituting the accuracy of written minutes. Tapes are reused, eliminating recorded records of these proceedings. Approval of the minutes of the previous meeting held March 18, 2021.
Move to approve. Second.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes. Are there any guests concerning county business? Hearing none, we'll move on.
Next item is a presentation by Clerk of Courts, Tyler Boney.
Morning, Tyler.
Morning, everyone. I would like to start by sharing my screen with you, so just give me one moment, please, so I can get that set up for you. Can everyone see my screen? Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, here we go. I would like to present a factual presentation of the 2020 Annual Review of the Clerk of Court's Office. Upon
Tyler,
taking up,
One
I'm
second.
sorry?
Right now we have there it is. The names were in front of your screen there, so we got it now, I think.
You got it?
No, hang on.
I'm
Hold on.
trying to make sure Dominic.
The
is
block's
in there.
right in there of the people on the call, so we're trying to get it off your screen so we can read.
Okay. Let me know when you're ready.
Okay. Okay. Sorry about that.
That's okay. As I was saying, I would like to start off by presenting a factual presentation of the 2020 Annual Review of the Clerk of Courts Office. Upon taking office a little over a year ago on January 6, 2020, it was no secret that the Clerk of Courts Office had many unresolved issues, though many are unaware of what we had uncovered. I do apologize for the lack of updated information while the backlog was going on in an in-depth analysis. Unfortunately, this process was continually evolving throughout the year. I fully believe in transparency wherever possible. In that interest, I would like to present the following presentation of both the Criminal Division and the Collections Division as it was found and addressed in 2020. Before starting and for clarification, the Clerk of Courts Office consists of two divisions: the Criminal Division, which maintains the original court records, and the Collections Division, which collects on payments of cost, fines, and restitution. With the Criminal Division, we had uncovered 45,000 unprocessed documents, which breaks down to 30,000 miscellaneous documents, 5,000 bench warrant documents, 10,000 court documents. All of these documents were processed and filed over a period of 5 months. We also completed the outstanding 12 months of assessments and sentencing orders that was previously reported on the 2019 year-end update. Unapplied funds were discovered in our cash bail escrow account, totaling $160,000, excluding the insurance money, which needed to be refunded to the proper parties. This process was not done since 2015. Regarding the Collections Division of the Clerk of Courts Office, I would like to start by saying the Director of Collections was absent from this office from February 2020 through December 2020. At that time, it was discovered the office was mismanaged for 5 years. Paperwork was not being processed, which escalated the outstanding issues within that office. There were 15,000 duplicate documents within files, which needed to be sorted and scanned into our case management system if we did not already have the document as part of our master electronic file. We had discovered 3,200 cost sheets that were not being addressed and needed to be placed on payment plans. We had uncovered 1,000 return checks dating back to 2015 in a box, which needed to be reconciled with the bank account, and most of these checks needed to be reissued with correct addresses and sent out a second time. Then after running several reports, it was discovered that there was $1.3 million in prepayments in our unapplied escrow report. These payments needed to be applied to the case balances, and in some cases, there was no longer a case balance and a refund needed to be issued. The previously reported 2019 fingerprint money from the insurance claim was still outstanding, unrefunded, and needed to be refunded to the proper parties. We successfully refunded 10,000 of the fingerprint money, and the remaining 5,000 will be returned to the insurance company as overpayment. The $5,000 remains with the controller's office. Despite the pandemic and the financial hardships in 2020, we collected $1.83 million in payments. The increase in the collected amount for 2020 is attributed to office procedural changes, streamlining of the office, restructuring the office, reallocating job duties and responsibilities. And next, I'm happy to report this is the largest amount collected in cost, fines, and restitution for Carbon County Clerk of Courts Criminal Collections Division in the past 5 years. Disbursements for Carbon County were also a record high for 2020. After applying the $1.3 million in prepayment of escrow that was from the backlog, which all those backlog cases have been resolved, and collecting the $1.83 million in 2020 payments, we were able to disperse $2.21 million to victims, county taxpayers, county offices, the state of Pennsylvania, and various local municipalities. $2.21 million. It was the largest disbursement in Carbon County by the Clerk of Courts Office Collections Division in 9 years. We've now started to receive some of our year-end statistics from the Administrative Office of Pennsylvania Courts. Pennsylvania has 24 Class 6 counties, Carbon County being a Class 6 county. I'm very proud to report that Carbon County is first of these 24 counties for the largest dollar dispersed in 2020. Through cross-training, improved workflows, streamlining of processes, and conservative spending, we were able to accomplish a 17% savings of our office expense budget, which is a total of $96,176 to the taxpayers of Carbon County. In summary, we have just cleared more than 5 years of backlog between the Collections Division and the Criminal Division of the Clerk of Court's office in just over a year. We continue our operations through the pandemic, completed our daily courthouse operations, fully cross-trained our staff, worked exceptionally hard to streamline office processes and workflow. We achieved a processing time of 24 to 48 hours for all court-related documents. We had the largest dollar amount collected in payments at $1.83 million in 5 years. We also had the largest dollar amount dispersed in the past 9 years of $2.21 million. And we also had an expense budget savings to the taxpayer of $96,176. These are huge accomplishments, contributing to the improvements of Carbon County Clerk of Court's office standing in the state of Pennsylvania. What's next, you may ask? Well, we'd have an overwhelming $25 million outstanding to collect in the cost, fines, and restitution of the Criminal Division of the Clerk of Court's office. Of that $25 million, there is $6.5 million that is delinquent in payments. The remainder is now set up on current payment plans and actively being pursued. Our 2021 focus will be on ways to implement a successful plan of action to successfully collect on the delinquent payments, to continue to reevaluate processes within the office for continued excellence. I feel it is important to mention that certain aspects of this backlog could not have been accomplished without the joint efforts of other courthouse offices. I would like to acknowledge and thank them for their cooperation. Kayla Semmel, Carbon County Prothonotary, and her staff, as they assisted with the larger volume of judgments and satisfactions filed daily, as well as judgments entered in error due to the backlog. Tony Harvilla, Carbon County Sheriff, and his office, as they assisted with bench warrants filed regularly, as well as dismissing outstanding bench warrants found due to the backlog. Jean Pepe, Carbon County Register of Wills, and her office, as they assisted looking up estates for our deceased defendants. And lastly, Michael Greek, our Carbon County DA, and his office for their continued cooperation while we worked together to remediate the backlog and improve our office procedures. In closing, I would like to highlight the incredible efforts of my staff: Karen Sweeney, Michelle Antiga, Carla Fritz, Adam Nevenglowski, Jennifer Flexer, Krista Lapata, Jennifer Heffelfinger, and Jody Sonon. We've accomplished and completed a tremendous amount of work in 2020. All of this is possible because of their hard work and dedication. The first few months in office were quite an adjustment for everyone, with the fourth leadership change in 3 years, introduction of new policies, adjustment to workflows, unprecedented amount of backlog, reallocating job duties, and restructuring the staff. But we did it together, and I'm truly blessed to have them as my team. I look forward to this year, all that we will continue to accomplish, and to continue serving the residents of Carbon County. Thank you, commissioners, for allowing me to present to you and to the county residents the 2020 annual update of the Clerk of Court's office. Thank you again, and God bless.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Boney, for your updates on the Clerk of Court's office.
Thank you.
Okay. Full screen.
If you'd stop the screen share.
You're on mute, can't hear you. There you go.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Give us control back.
Yep. Okay. Move on.
The report of executive sessions held.
There was one executive session held on March 25th, 2021 at 9:45 a.m. for personnel reasons.
Department reports, the budget transfers, 2020, 2021.
Move to approve.
Second.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
There were no supplemental appropriations. Expenditures, approval of check numbers 219596 through 219754 for expenditures to the general fund clearing account totaling $687,696.71.
Move to approve. Second.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
The treasurer's report?
Move to approve. Second.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
The personnel report?
Move to approve. Second.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
Correspondence was received as listed. Copies will be made available to the press upon request. Adult probation. For approval and execution, the fiscal year 2020-2021 grant and aid application to the Pennsylvania Board of Probation and Parole for the improvement of adult probation services through the reimbursement of eligible salaries for professional staff. Total revenue, $60,640.
Move to approve and execute. Second.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes, if we can, I have Rick Parson on the line now, if you want to explain what this will do for us.
Yes, good morning, Commissioners. Thank you for your time, as always. Grant and aid has actually been around since 1968, and it was created to help, the improvement of adult probation and parole services. Unfortunately, it was created in 1968, and it hasn't really been updated in all those years. There's been one update in the middle of it, but really has not been updated. And so this actually back in 2019, Act 114. Which is Justice Reinvestment, took what was Grant and Aid, which was originally under the Parole Board, and moved it under PCCD. They're currently revamping the funding formula, but unfortunately, right now the funding formula is, standing where it was originally, and so that's why Carbon County is only getting $60,640. $60,640. Unfortunately, like a lot of counties, Carbon County has changed a lot since 1968. So hopefully in the future, under the CAPAC and the state and PCCD, we'll see some changes in the funding formula. But right now, these funds will be received to help offset the cost of salaries of the department.
All right, thank you, Rick, for the update.
All right.
Next item, courts. For approval and execution, a request was received from the court administrator for an agreement with Tyler Technologies Odyssey Case Management System to replace the Anita Civil Case Management System for court administration, prothonotary, and Register of Wills Clerk of Orford Court. Case flow management as follows. Implementation, $604,840. Card terminals, 2 at $775.50 each. Travel expenses, $61,067. And software service fees as listed for 5 years. Payment terms are outlined in Exhibit A of the Software as a Service Agreement.
Move to approve.
Second,
Discussion. If I could ask the court administrator, Greg, if you're on the line, could you explain how the county will benefit from the incorporation of this technology? So everyone is familiar what, this $750,000 almost investment is going to do for the court system in the county.
you're muted, Greg.
Good morning, Commissioners. As outlined in the description, this software is a replacement for our existing legacy system that began in 1978 with a local computer programmer. At one time, it extended through the entire civil, criminal, domestic relations, juvenile probation systems, adult probation. And as state systems were developed over the course of several decades, the scope of the Anita software has decreased. So now it's for the offices as listed on the description. So it will provide court administration with replacements for all of the scheduling, all the hearing notices, all the coordination among the two main civil filing offices and Register of Wills and Prothonotary, as well as the needs of the judges.
Greg, I know the initial purchase is budgeted. Can you explain how we're going to fund the out years, the software service fees for the 5 out years?
We have existing funding streams in place. Court administration currently has an annual allocation for our programmer to provide support to the 3 primary offices that still use the legacy system. And then the two filing offices also collect electronic filing or automation fees and different kinds of statutory fees that are going to be put in part towards supporting the annual expense. We're also looking at some other, the software is going to include some online filing capabilities, which we don't currently have. So we're in the process of reviewing how we collect fees right now and how we can properly apply them as a group toward the ongoing expense.
And Greg, do we have a commitment from the Prothonotary Register of Wills off in court to contribute in those out years from their automation fees or their revenues?
I believe that both of those office holders are still reviewing what they proposed for ongoing contributions.
Could you say again, so we do not have a confirmation of their contributions to the out years, is that correct?
We've had one discussion with the commissioner's office to talk about the different funding streams that exist. I don't know, and I cannot speak for either Jean or Kayla as far as what their what kind of commitment they can make to the commissioners.
Yeah, let me elaborate a little bit on that meeting. We did meet and both offices did express a willingness to provide whatever funding they could. They were afraid to make a commitment because they're not sure what the revenues would be and what other expenses they would have in those offices, if I'm correct. That was the outcome of that meeting that time.
That's correct.
And the other thing is, the person we had, we lost support of, or losing support of the current legacy system that we have there. So it's outdated, and this gives us the opportunity to work together with the other offices and sharing information. And in a lot of cases, the way I understand it, will reduce the amount of time in some cases of the time it takes to input information. Instead of every office doing it, it's going to be able to share information more readily.
I think it'll make it much easier to share information. Like our current system is fully integrated, so everyone can at least review what other offices have entered for data or updates. But it's an older screen. It's built on Linux versus a true Windows-based system in the Tyler Odyssey product.
That's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Greg. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Emergency Management. For approval, request was received from the Emergency Management Director to appoint Mr. Matthew Miller of Lake Harmony, Pennsylvania, as a county EMA volunteer deputy.
Move to approve.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
No.
Mr. Lukasevich?
I'd ask we table it for 1 week, make a motion to table for another week.
I'll second that.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Planning and Development for ratification. Project Activity Completion Extension Request for the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development, requesting extensions of completion dates for community development projects as listed.
Move to ratify.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
The solicitor's report.
Thank you, Agency on Aging, for approval and execution of memorandum of understanding between Carbon County Commissioners on behalf of the area Agency on Aging and Stone Health Information Exchange for the protected health information on consumers, which the Agency on Aging serve. It will be agreed that the agency will participate in meetings, committees, and other work groups as needed, and will be using the opt-out option to give consumers the choice to participate. Term of the agreement will commence on the effective date and continue for an initial term of 3 years.
Move to approve and execute.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Agency on Aging for approval and execution an agreement between the Pennsylvania Department of Human Services and Area Agency on Aging so that the aging agency employees can verify an individual's eligibility for the medical assistance program as set forth under the responsibilities of the agency. The agreement shall remain in effect until terminated.
Move to approve and execute.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Agency on Aging for approval and execution, memorandum of understanding between Carbon County Agency on Aging and Diana T. Myers and Associates to provide training for the share counselor and technical assistance for data collection analysis, housing needs assessments, meeting planning, facilitation, and share program building and implementation from January 1, 2021 through September 30, 2021. The cost will be $135 per consulting hour, $35 per hour for travel time plus expenses, mileage, lodging, meals, speaker, and venue fees, not to exceed $7,975. Previous consulting cost was $125 an hour and travel time at $30 an hour.
Move to approve and execute.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
The lease addendum for approval and execution, an addendum to the lease agreement with Jim Thorpe Area School District for 402 square feet of additional space, as well as a superintendent and superintendent assistant's offices located at 410 Center Avenue, Jim Thorpe, effective April 5, 2021, at $10 per square foot. Additionally, on an as-needed basis, the area is defined as a gymnasium, boardroom, girls' locker room, retroactive to January 26, 2021, for a period of 60 days, also at $10 per square foot on dates in use.
Move to approve and execute.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Proclamation for adoption, the proclamation designating the month of April 2021 as Pennsylvania 8/11 Safe Digging Month.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yeah, if I may real quick, I just want to touch on some of the bullets in this proclamation and why we're supporting this. Whereas the month of April 2021 is recognized as Pennsylvania 811 Safe Digging Month. And the initiative sponsored by the Pennsylvania 811 Utility Notification Information celebrating its 49th year of continuous service to the Commonwealth. Whereas they have received close to 992,000 rough one here. Excavation, and I'm just trying to pick out some wording and not reading where all the whereas is, just in the bullet points. Notifications and transmitted approximately 6.6 million notifications to their members, allowing the operators and utilities and construction crews to provide vital underground services and repair of critical infrastructure. And what this does also protects people from just going in. The utility companies have to go out there when they get a request, do a 811 request. They go out, the gas companies, power companies, phone companies, etc., which might have underground lines there. They're carefully marked so that an excavator doesn't accidentally tear up a gas line, which is one of the worst case scenarios, especially in a more populated area, to prevent fire, explosion, and severe damage and cause of life. And every once in a while, you read in the paper where someone operating a backhoe has hit a gas line and possibly died or severely injured, and very few cases luckily get away without being injured at all. So it also protects our infrastructure, the phone lines, et cetera. So there's many reasons why, if you're going to be digging on, even on your own property, you may be unaware of any lines that may be running through your property or close to the property line. So please call 811. There is no charge for this service. They come out and survey and mark where all the lines are so we don't have any accidents.
Professional services for acceptance. Proposal received from the Person Agency for appraisal of property located at 525 Iron Street in the borough of Lehighton at the cost of $950.
Move to accept.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Purchasing for approval and execution, extension of delivery of the #2 fuel oil and off-road diesel fuel between the County of Carbon and K&K Oil Company of Lehighton, extending the contract for a period through March 31, 2021, under the same terms and conditions of the existing contract dated the 7th day of December 2017, last renewed through January 1, 2021.
Move to approve and execute.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Veterans Affairs for approval, awarding of funding in the amount of $100,000 discretionary grant through the Western Interstate Commission for Higher Education to support the implementation of the Together with Veterans Northeastern Pennsylvania.
Move to approve.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Nothing further.
Yeah, under the, let me touch on this real quick, under the veterans, maybe Chris wants to add a little bit as well, but one of the CCAP, Military and Veterans Affairs priorities are to have our military personnel that, let's say, they're trained as an EMT, and we're trying to work with the community colleges and colleges, et cetera, that when they come out of the military, that those hours and training that they have would count as or be qualified, instead of them taking the EMT training, which is well over 100 hours now, that they would get credit for their service time. And that's only one of many certifications that we are looking to get for our military personnel, so that they'd be able to go right into the job market and not have to retrain on things they've been doing for years. So.
Yeah, I would simply add, this is really the first large initiative associated with the new county sponsored Together with Veterans. We're providing the administration support for that program. So good initiative.
Okay, further business? Commissioners report, Mr. Honor?
None at this time.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Nothing?
Okay, I'll do it.
Notstein?
Okay, well, for the news media in particular, who have been on this call and attended our meetings over the past how many years, it happened again down at the Covered Bridge. We were very lucky this time because after the last incident, well, I shouldn't say the last incident, we have had others in between, but we're looking for a Penske, apparently a box truck, who has severe damage to it and did severe damage to the steel I-beam that we put up to correct it. Now we have a board going across on chains to warn the drivers going through that if they hit that, they'll hit the bridge. Well, this thing, and that's maybe about a foot, I'd say, above the sign is the I-beam, and it bent the I-beam. So it did protect the bridge. It did what it was designed to do. That was our intent when we did it, and why we went over, shouldn't say overboard, but we wanted to make sure that if someone was going to attempt to go through that bridge with high vehicle or towing something that's high, it would damage the bar and stop the vehicle from damaging the covered bridge. The I-beam did its job. Apparently, it was a hit and run, and there was a witness, I guess, that called it in, and just looking for any information the public may have that, so we can go after this person for possible damages to the property, because it's probably gonna be a couple $1,000s, maybe $2,000-3,000 to replace or repair. I didn't look at the uprights, and we didn't have the engineer go look at the uprights if they were moved. They're in a concrete foundation. Hopefully they're not damaged. I think at this point in time, seeing the pictures of it, the I-beam is still sufficient to wake someone up if they try to go across the covered bridge. So again, here we go again, and hopefully we'll have that repaired in short order and find out who the culprit is and seek reimbursement for the damages. So, and that's all I have today. Thank you. Okay, Kelly.
Good morning.
Morning, Kelly.
I have nothing this morning. I hope you all have a good day and a good weekend.
Okay, thank you, Kelly. You as well. Amy.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Questions I have are, why did you decide to table the volunteer EMA deputy position right now?
Waiting for more information from our EMA coordinator. That's
Okay.
all.
Okay. And with the appraisal from Person, it's the same building that you guys had looked at originally for court space. Is that still what it's going to be looked at for?
Amy, we continue to look at all options in regards to meeting the space requirements of the county, to include, looking at buildings that would afford that space that's needed. So this is an expansion of the initial appraisal that took place, which was rental space centric. This is a little bit broader.
Okay. Okay. That is all I have then. Thank you.
It's no secret we're out of space in the courthouse. I just shoulder to shoulder, and this past year during COVID, I think it affected those offices in particular that were overcrowded. So, okay, all right, thank you. Geez, I can't forget Don.
I cannot believe that. Oh my goodness.
We came late to the meeting.
Where's that mute button?
Sorry, gentlemen. I showed up to work today. One question. I don't know if this is for Greg or not, but the $600,000 court update, would you guys consider that necessary? Is this vital to just getting into, 2021 and maybe updating some things like we do it?
Yeah, I would not be voting for a $600,000 expenditure if I didn't think it was absolutely necessary. This is something we've been talking about for several years. The person that maintained that's the previous, the still existing system is retiring. I don't think and Greg can answer this better than I can, and he's still there, and I offer him the opportunity to speak, but yeah, that's one of the main reasons that he's going to be leaving. It's, I'd say, an outdated system. Greg, if you will.
Good morning again. Hi, Dominic. Yes, it's an older programming language. It does work very well for us, but as Wayne mentioned, the programmer has been telling us for a number of years that he does plan to retire. There's no firm date set yet. We do know this project will last about 13 months once we kick it off in the next month or so. And we'll be offering online services for forms generation, things like that are part of the normal circumstance in our technological society these days.
That's a good point there, Greg, that it's going to help the people get the information online, automating and upgrading all our programs and systems, and that'll be less people coming into the courthouse and the administration building here, as well as the other buildings. The more information we can provide, the less traffic we're going to have. in the offices, and the more efficient they will run as well.
And my last question is just, oh, I'm sorry, Greg, did you have something to say?
No, I just wanted to mention that these are programs for the public that have been in place for the federal system for probably over 20 years. Neighboring counties like Lehigh and Monroe have, or like Lehigh in particular, has had online services through the same Tower Odyssey system for 8 or 10 or 15 more years. So we are following existing Pennsylvania counties. Monroe, I'm not sure where they are with their project, but there's a number of PA counties that have started this process to update their systems.
Yeah. Dominic, if I could add, and you being the news media should be aware that last week, 20 to 24 March, was Sunshine Week, right, in Pennsylvania. And I think this is another demonstration of providing access to public releasable information. You know, this system will facilitate individuals getting information that is for their use. So I think this is positive in regards to Sunshine Week and what occurred last week.
And I don't mean to sound naive, but I'm curious, what takes, and Greg, I'm guessing you can answer this, what takes 13 months? And I'm not trying to short sell it. I'm just curious, what takes almost a year? And is that just the transferring of data, analog data?
It is the data mapping process that occurs between the programmers. And Tower is located in Texas. So there's a lot of on-site work here, meetings with our staff to understand this business process. Is there an equivalent in the Tower programming scheme, or do we have to create or modify something? There's a lot of on-site work as well as work back at their office. And then the data mapping for the existing computer files, the schedules that exist, the older cases, getting it into the new format. We currently offer a fee-based access to the images that are available to the public. All that has to be transferred and updated to the PDF-A formatting. So it's a very lengthy process. We're very fortunate this system contains a lot of historical data, and Tower is going to be converting everything to their format. 13 months will go by in a blink of an eye, but there'll be an awful lot of long days for staff, for the Commentary Register of Wills, creating new forms. There's just, I'm not sure we even fully understand everything that's going to be required because it is a very detailed and lengthy process.
Greg, do you have an estimate of the amount of hours of training that they will be providing? I don't recall.
Well, we'll go through several waves of training. Tower has online modules called Tower University, which goes through their scheduling, their Register of Wills, for the probate end, the Orphans Court records, the prothonotary. So staff will be given access to those training modules in an online format. And as we reach the end of the project, they will bring more staff here and have people present in every office on the go live date, so that there'll be a lot of very hands-on training for a week or two, and then gradually scale back until we're comfortable. And then we'll be more of a remote support standpoint, which 13 months, I can't promise May 1st, but that's kind of the soft target of when we would be up and running.
And just my last question, exactly for where exactly is this covered bridge with this I-beam? Because I would like to go get shots of it today.
It's right by where you're going up to the ski area.
It's Little Gap there. And,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in Little Gap if you go out through Delaware Avenue, Palmerton. You can stay on that road instead of turning to go to Blue Mountain, and you'll come up to the bridge in Little Gap there.
Okay. All right, gentlemen, that's all I have. Thank you.
Hey, Dominic. Thank you.
Rocky, what's for supper tonight?
I knew he was gonna say something. You just didn't mute him quick enough.